Hello, and welcome. Here are ways to become a supporter of the channel. Thank you and enjoy.
3, 2,
When you come across images like this, what goes through your mind? I know what I'm thinking. And I know what the critics are going to say. They're going to say it's photoshopped. Alright. How about this one? What do you think when you see this? I know what I'm thinking. And again, I know what the critics are going to say. It's nothing more than a piece of artwork. It's a sculpture. Alright. And again, I know what you're going to say. This is nothing more than natural erosion. It was the weather. It was the rain. It was the wind. The eyes are useless when the mind is blind.
Yo, I've been waiting to do this video for a long time, and now here it is. Let's get into it. Alright, so I got 3 theories about Area 51, and I want y'all to listen to all 3 of them. Tell me how y'all feel about them, and let me know if you ever heard these before. So first you got the original theory, the one that we all might have heard of. We all heard that Area 51 could be a holding spot for aliens and other species that occupy this planet. But Area 51 also provides a place for UFOs and aliens that coexist with the 1%, a place to be protected on Earth. It's also filled with private documents, world secrets, and information that is not accessible to the public. And you also have advanced technology that we have never seen and never will see, that was created as a result of the coexistence between the 1%, the elites, and these aliens. See, we all pretty much heard of that one. Let's move on to the next one though. Alright, see here you got theory 2. Theory 2 is with Area 51 being in connection with the hollow earth. Alright, so in this theory, we are the actual aliens. Alright, so here in this scenario, we are the aliens, and Area 51 was created to keep us away from the actual civilization of Earth, inside of the hollow earth. Out of the 3 theories I'm presenting to y'all today, this one is the most furthest away from the truth. But y'all know, just like I do, we can't put nothing past this. Here go my favorite one, the 3rd theory. Me and Ron Spiracies was sitting down and having a deep conversation, and we was actually the first to come up with this theory from what I heard of. Alright, so now we got the 3rd theory. 3rd theory is the Bermuda Triangle, along with all the other Area 51s all across the world, are connected into the hollow earth. Or that these Area 51s have technology to access other dimensions. I probably didn't even know that there was Area 51s all around the world, but here they are. Just show y'all a few. India got their own Area 51. Of course, Antarctica has its own Area 51. And Australia has its own Area 51 as well. I believe that in some sort of way, all 3 of these theories are the complete makeup of Area 51. Time travel, dimensional travel, aliens, UFOs, everything is stored there. And if y'all remember, just a few months before the pandemic hit, everybody was talking about storming Area 51. Y'all remember? I don't know how scared y'all had them. Y'all don't know how much power y'all had in that moment. Even with everybody joking, some people were serious, but y'all do not understand how much power y'all had. I believe that was part of the reason for the shutdown, because they were so scared that y'all was going to actually raid Area 51. If the raid was successful, we would have opened a whole world of secrets. Over 500,000 people signed a petition to join in the Storm Area 51 raid. Yes, they was nervous, and yes, we all thinking the same thing. It's not just a regular testing site. Y'all go ahead and let me know what y'all think in the comments, and let me know which theory best suits what you think.
Somewhere in here there is concrete. Somewhere there is whatever was here before the Park Service came, meeting concrete. And unbelievable. These lesser seen photos. I recently did the same thing today with star forts, and I was looking at obscure photos of all the different star forts in America, and my mind was absolutely blown. When you just look and do a simple search, you get certain pictures. But of course, when you go deeper, it's unbelievable what is revealed, such as this picture here. And again, you can see the white, pasty, what looks like cement, what looks like a cover-up, and perhaps that's why we have these little indentations that they would tell us are Native American steps, but really looking like a cover-up, like a limey concrete has been reshaped to cover something up.
You are absolutely correct. Pieces of the firmament have been shot down. And we got so many videos of rockets hitting the firmament, this oxygen energy field, which is a solid, which is nothing but ice. You know, I'm gonna teach you about it later on. I'll make it make sense to you. Trust me, I will. But they have got past the firmament. Yes, they have, like I said. But they haven't got to the heavenly realms. This is where they got to. They broke free out of the local firmament and went into these new areas. Uranus didn't. Elon Musk said we need to populate Uranus. We need to go to Uranus. This is what he's talking about. The Anunnaki, Neptune, Venus, even Jupiter, Mercury, and Nibiru.
All right, I thought I was recording a rocket attempt to hit the firmament again or go through, but they can't get through the firmament. So whatever this was not a rocket, was not an airplane. It got through the firmament, and there was even a flash after it's done. After it's done, watch, the white line's going to cut off. If it was a spaceship or something, the white line would still be going. Look at this. I'm going to go over to the screen to the left, and it's still flying with no trail on it. No trail. Trail is gone. And watch this. Okay. Now it got through the firmament, and it's literally going. What is that? What is that?
I don't usually make morning videos, but I gotta show y'all something. Hold up. This next post is something that a lady who lives here in Merida, she is an immigrant as well, a black immigrant. She's been living here for about 2 years. She used to live in Thailand. She's lived all over the world. Look at what she posted yesterday. Y'all pause to read this, please, and thank you. Okay, that is per liter. Okay, let me give y'all a conversion real quick too. This was the conversion for yesterday. This was what the American dollar was worth yesterday. When are y'all going to realize that a lot of the shortages, shootings, chaos in general in the United States is completely fabricated to get? And you guys could be like, oh, she hates the United States because she moved to Mexico. I hated the United States before I left to move away from the United States. In full transparency, I used to be like a lot of y'all, afraid, stuck in a cycle, in survival mode, crab in the bucket mentality. All of those things have affected me. Internal racism, all of that. That's why I talk shit about it, because I've experienced it and I can speak on it from a place of knowing and understanding, because I get it. But let me tell y'all something. Also, when I go to the grocery store and go to the baby aisle, there's no baby formula shortage over here. Not one. But also, I'm in a country that also promotes breastfeeding. Now, every woman can't breastfeed. I am very well aware of that. But in general, I'm in a country that promotes whole practices. These people really be taking care of their kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, teaching them stuff outside at parks. I've never seen so many people in a park before in my life. And I'm just telling y'all that and showing y'all real life examples outside of my own judgment, because I want y'all to see that there are places in the world that are way better than the United States when it comes to caring and quality of life. A lot of you guys get stuck on the USD and needing to grind culture. Grind culture and capitalism is not going to save black people. And because most of my messages, actually all of my messages, are specifically for black people, if we going to get real specific, black women, I have to say this and let y'all understand. You can thrive elsewhere. You just have to have the plan to thrive elsewhere. Don't tell me you can't thrive elsewhere, because right now, you are in a fabricated matrix that is getting you to react a certain way. The shootings are not going to stop. The racism's not going to stop. The shortages are not going to stop. From here to you. Keep that in mind, okay?
So this is the story that I had been told, was that the middle finger was it was like used by Native Americans. And allegedly, Native Americans were so skilled with bow and arrows, and when they would pull the string back, they would use their middle finger. So when they would be captured by, the people colonizing the United States.
Whites, go ahead.
Yeah, you guys, they would cut off their middle fingers.
So they couldn't shoot.
So they couldn't shoot. So as a sign of being like antagonistic, they would be like, guess what? Look what we got.
Is that true?
That's what I've heard.
Wow.
I mean,
I like that.
you got the Google machine.
Oh, I'm not going to look that up. That
then
sounds amazing.
take it for what it is.
All right, what's really going on? Look at the opposites. It's really easy to tell their lies. Elon is saying, look at my space agency, and we're going to go up into the atmosphere, and I'm going to bring everybody to Mars, but that's the fake space agency. And he's also got a company called the Boring Agent Company, which says, don't look down, don't look over here, this is boring, but this is his real space agency. If you know, when there was the first space race between us and the Russians, we also had an underground or underwater space agency. And all of a sudden, we found something under the water, and all the talk about the underwater space agency of NASA stopped. And everything was geared towards the moon, and we're going to the moon, and they fake this whole moon thing. And they're telling you, look up. We found something up there. Don't look down here in the ocean where we really found something. So what they know is that from the Bible, it tells us Earth looks like this. It's a flat plane, and underneath is the Sheol, or the holes. And we know that UFOs don't come to planet Earth through the sky. They come through water, because there's these tunnels under the water that go and link to different places, like Mars or way over to Jupiter, which is still really far away, because you got to go through all these underwater stationary, tunnels or channels. And in between those, there's places that don't have a sun, so they're just frozen solid. So we have tons and tons and tons of these little bubbles everywhere, but there's no sun in those. There's only sun in a few certain ones, and that's what we see as the stars in the sky, is this one way over here. So everything here is opposite. It's really easy to understand once you realize that.
Still having troubles believing in conspiracy theories? Look no further. Richard E. Byrd, Operation High Jump. Let's get it. In 1947, Richard E. Byrd and 4,000 other soldiers were sent on this classified mission called Operation High Jump. To what the soldiers were told, Operation High Jump was supposed to be a scan of the land to make sure that no enemies occupied the area. What the soldiers were told, they were just going on an investigation in Antarctica of the several German U-boats missing and being hid at the German base 211. To make matters worse, they told the public that this was a routine geographic exploration, so no one but the government had any true idea to what was actually going on here. Once Richard Byrd arrived in Antarctica, he did come in contact with Nazis. Richard Byrd and the other U.S. soldiers had multiple skirmishes with the Nazi soldiers in Antarctica. During these battles, the CIA confirmed that the Nazis used these Hanbu flying saucers equipped with anti-gravity to simply overpower Richard Byrd and his fleet. This left Richard Byrd and his fleet no choice but to flee. After the encounter with the Nazis, Richard Byrd knew that there was something much, much bigger going on in Antarctica. Richard Byrd then went on to conduct a series of secret missions across the land of Antarctica. Here, Richard Byrd would come across ancient underground forests, prehistoric animals, and of course, the hollow earth. All of this would be mentioned in Richard Byrd's journal, soon found after his death. His journal was discovered, it went missing, and never to be found again. And if you think that's crazy, wait, there's more. In 1988, Richard Byrd's son was scheduled to give a speech about his dad in Washington, D.C. Here he would talk about the life of his dad, all of his accolades, all of his accomplishments, everything. However, even with all the accolades that Richard Byrd had accomplished in his lifetime, they knew that there was a possibility that his son would talk about Operation High Jump. His son had discovered the files and the journal entries that Richard Byrd had left before his passing. And they knew this. Richard Byrd's son never made it to give the speech in D.C. He was found 3 weeks later dead inside of a warehouse. They said that he apparently died from dehydration. Now y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, and let me know who I should do next.
Y'all, check this out.
1991, I was invited to attend a closed-door meeting with a small group of business insiders to discuss rap music's new direction. The companies we worked for had invested millions millions into the building of privately owned prisons, and that our positions of influence in the music industry would actually impact the profitability of these investments.
So he's pretty much saying that that secret meeting was held to tell these artists that their music was going to manipulate the general population into committing crimes to fill the private prisons. And if you look at the inflation of private prisons, it's from 1990 to 2009, which it increased 1,600%. And he said that meeting was in 1991.
A mere 232 media executives were responsible for the intake of 277 million Americans, controlling all avenues necessary to manufacture any celebrity and spark any trend. Time Warner, as the owner of Warner Brothers Records, can not only sign an artist, but since they're also owners of Entertainment Weekly, they can also put an artist on the cover by next week. You think you choose what you listen to, but do you?
He's pretty much saying that the system is rigged in a way where the people who own the labels have the power to put whoever they want in the limelight. So as long as the person is portraying the image that they want and pushing their narrative, they will push them further along in the industry.
Both BET and MTV belong to Viacom. Okay, now I know that's not news to some, but when the use of these media conglomerates is cross-checked with ownership of the biggest names in prison privatization, it's starting to get a little fishy.
Yeah.
The largest holder in Core Civic, formerly Corrections Corp of America, is Vanguard Group Incorporated. Vanguard is the #1 largest holder in both Viacom and Time Warner. Vanguard is also the largest holder in the GEO Group, the second largest owner of private prisons in the U.S. The overlap in private prison / mass media ownership is disturbing. Let's make this clear. The people who own the media are the same people who own private prisons, the exact same people.
Since our employees had become solid investors in this prison business, it was now in their interest to make sure that these prisons remain filled. Our job would be to help make this happen by making music which promote criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice.
Now, honestly, this would explain why we don't see artists who expose the truth for what it is or who talk about real stuff anymore. All they talk about is partying, drugs, and getting money.
You remember Robert Griffin Jr. said that he was coming out with a I got sexually harassed book, and all of a sudden the book went away and he was on every major college football game and every damn preview show we can find. Robert Griffin Jr. was everywhere. I'm like, what the fuck? He knows how to tell us about a quarterback. He couldn't play it, let alone sit up in a box for 3 hours and listen to his ass. Come on.
Peace and family. Y'all remember that video I made about Chris Brown? Here, let's take a look.
Come on, y'all. The snake. And slime is something reptiles call each other. That's why you hear Young Thug call people slime. It's a reptilian slang.
So his album is about to drop, so he has to do interviews. Let's check out this interview with Big Boy. Now, before I show the video, I want you to watch his body language. Look how restless he looks. Look how menacing he looks. He looks uncomfortable in his skin. But pay attention to everything and just listen to what he says.
Yeah. Chris Brown, he believes in UFOs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Do you think you ever been abducted?
Hell no.
You think you ever seen anything that looked different? Why do you believe?
Because I'm an alien.
Look at him. Look at his face.
Why?
Look at his lips.
Because I'm an alien.
Look at his mouth.
Explain.
I can't explain.
Do you feel like,
Look at
and
his
I don't
lips.
mean, you know, sometimes people think alien with the eyes and outer space and all that stuff, but you really feel like you're not of this planet.
I don't know. No, I'm an alien.
Well, you know what?
Extraterrestrial.
Fuck it, I'm an alien too.
For sure.
There it is. You know what I'm
sure.
saying? Give me some of that alien work.
They're all reptiles.
All right, but you believe, because I say this, Chris. I say, how can we be here and nobody else is here?
What you mean?
Like, how can we be on this
on this
earth,
planet? Oh, for sure.
on this planet, and nothing else exists?
Yeah. I second that.
And you've never been abducted, but you're an alien. Have you abducted anyone else? Is there an alien game that you can spit to us?
Look at him.
Is there an alien language?
Look at
that
him.
you know? Okay, all right. Well, it's obvious you don't want to share any of
You
that.
feel me? I got it, you know.
All righty.
Now, this picture right here was from the Billboard Music Awards. Look at him, y'all. Look at him. You can see his true form start to come out. You can see the sharp teeth. You can see how the top of his head is protruding. But just look at the face. Look at his face. Look at him. Now, what I was talking about his lips, watch this.
Including souls who have yet to find a response to their spiritual yearning, to the knowledge and love of Jesus Christ.
How about this? I don't know if you saw it. There's a fake news story going around. It got thousands of shares online. You saw that?
Look at the tongue. Look at the tongue.
I'm into ancient aliens, and I like learning. I like being stuff that's other than what everybody expects. You know what I'm saying? So
Look at that. How his fingers look at this.
Hey you guys, you want to see something crazy? I'm going to show you something and teach you about dumbs. What are dumbs? Dumbs are deep underground military bases that they have all over the planet. In different countries too, not just America. America has a whole underground cavern and tunnel system besides the Mexican border. Besides, certain places like Colorado and other states. So these right here are examples of dumbs. Okay? This is some of the food that they have stored in there. Apparently a group called the White Hats are bringing that out for people so they don't starve. I don't know who these White Hats people are, but if they're really gonna do it, shout out to y'all. I need to see it now. We'll see what happens next. Hopefully it isn't a psyop.
There was a thing called Project Looking Glass, right? Supposedly, the elites back in the days found an ancient artifact in Iraq that was like supposedly could go look into the future and look into the past. So what they would do is they would feed it like different possibilities, and it was like a computer, and the computer would give it like an outcome and a percentage of like how that outcome would. And the elites started getting like really scared because like no matter what possibilities they throw into it, all the outcomes led to this one point in time. But something happened during that time. Maybe the world ended, something shifted, but they say that there's a company called CERN. They deal with like quantum physics and things like that. So they supposedly think that the elites in that company they knew that was going to be like the end of our timeline. So they either jumped us into like another timeline, because like how there's like multiple like realities.
But if we're in another timeline, don't we have like us in another timeline?
Or they could have just built a completely different timeline. And like a person that I guess either worked for the company or worked for the elites, he went on like a little show it's on YouTube, and he was just talking about like how they're trying to cover up all the stuff that they did, and they're afraid, like their biggest fear is that the public is gonna find out all the stuff they covered up. Maybe that end of the timeline is like an outcome where we all figure out what the government's been hiding to us. Maybe that's what they're scared about, and it wasn't the end of the world, and that's why they changed our timeline to go to like another one, so that would never happen, so that we'll just keep being like whatever they're doing is just a secret.
Hey, TikTok. I want to talk about one of the least known and visited countries of Central Asia, called Ashgabat, Turkmenistan, which up until 2006, for a quarter century, was running off of free energy. 90+% of the buildings, both structured monuments and housing, are all white marble, as well as the dictator that resides there, outlawing any color vehicle except white. It is said that despite having these amazing structures and a population of over 6 million, there's rarely ever cars or people seen during the day in these massive structures. 8-point star symbology is littered through the architecture. In this instance, it looks as though they're using religion to gatekeep where we live. The building of Foreign Ministry Affairs? Another globe. At one of the palaces, looks to be a sun inside of an 8-pointed star. In 1971, they were drilling for natural gas. Disaster struck as the ground below the rig collapsed, sending the rig into the natural gas reservoir, puncturing it, allowing gas to seep out. Well, they lit it on fire thinking they could contain it and would be temporary, maybe last a few weeks. It's been burning ever since. As well as complete censorship, outlawing all social media and limiting restrictions on all internet services. What are they hiding in Ashgabat, Turkmenistan?
SpongeBob. So SpongeBob's address is 124 Conch Street, Bikini Bottom. If you search this up on Google, it'll take you to this point on Little St. James Island. But this is where it gets crazy. That is the exact location of Jeffrey Epstein's private island. I don't even know what to think of this. Here's
Bounce it,